My name is Tyler. I'm a branding consultant. And if you have a brand, you probably want to do the trendy branding topics like figure out your logo and make sure the fonts and colors are good. And that's great. Chasing trends, however, do not create strong brand ethos. And a great example of a brand that builds really strong ethos throughout the customer experience, marketing, and the actual products they sell is Costco. They have a $227 billion empire, and they kind of broke a lot of the traditional branding rules when it comes to retail. So, in this video, I'm going to tell you how they get away with charging people $120 just to shop there and spend almost nothing on advertising, keep their stores looking like warehouses, yet customers are absolutely obsessed with them. If you're ready, let's get started. Okay, so first I want to talk about membership psychology and why this works. American Express does this, Costco does this at more of a mid tier range. They start with a counterintuitive approach, and competitors usually will try to go through price wars to try to attract customers with deals. Instead, Costco kind of keeps this with a paywall so that you have to actually pay $60 for a basic membership or $120 for an executive membership just to walk through the doors. And the moment that consumers pay a membership fee, they get invested. Their brain needs to justify that expense, so then they actively look for value. And it's a sunk cost fallacy, and Costco weaponized it kind of for good. The membership fee generates over $4 billion annually, and that's great. And it does cover a lot of their operating profits, but it actually allows them to sell products at near cost margins while competitors have to mark up 30 to 46% to cover their operations costs. So this way it creates a little bit of reciprocity and customers feel like insiders getting exclusive deals, and it's a win-win situation. If you're a small business owner, you can't just compete on price alone. You have to create exclusive access, premium membership, and VIP experiences, and then customers will happily pay to become part of your brand community. They also focused on this less is more kind of philosophy, which is kind of funny when you think about how Costco sells things in bulk. But truly, if you walk into Walmart, you're going to be shown 140,000 different products, which is extremely overwhelming. Costco carries about 3,800 carefully curated items, and most business owners really do think that if I have fewer options, I'll make less sales. The strategy actually eliminates decision fatigue, and when customers see a product at Costco, they know it's been vetted. They trust Costco's judgment over their own research, and with guaranteed volume, Costco can negotiate incredible deals with suppliers, offering that discount to their clients. And they even created a private label, which is Kirkland's signature, and that alone generates $59 billion annually, which is more revenue than most Fortune 500 companies. But their customers trust that if Costco put their name on it, it's quality. Just like a small restaurant can't have a bunch of different options on their menu, if you have focused options, less options, and put more attention into the quality of the options you provide, then you will become an expert curator in your space. And customers will learn to trust your judgment, and they'll pay premium prices without having the need to shop around. Costco does a great thing by investing in their employees. And a small business can ask the question, if I pay more money, it just kills my profits. And Costco does pay their workers about $26 per hour compared to the average of 17 of their competitors, which is almost double. And it seems expensive, but if you calculate in the branding and marketing results of this, it will make a lot more sense. Their turnover rate is only about 7%, while the industry average is somewhere around the range of 60 to 70%. So high turnover does mean consistent or constant recruiting, training, and productivity losses. However, experienced employees do provide better service. They know your products a lot better. And so, in essence, they become a brand ambassador for the products that you list. And well-paid employees don't just work at Costco, they genuinely represent the brand. They're knowledgeable, they're helpful, they care about the customer experience, and you can't fake that level of authenticity. And the consistency for the consumer side when they go in actually builds a lot of brand loyalty. So Costco's stock did outperform the S&P 500 for decades using just this strategy. And if you're a small business owner, I implore you to not look at employees as costs, but your brand's most powerful marketing tool. They do have an anti-advertising approach. This is, instead of spending money on big flashy campaigns, they spend about a half a percent of their revenue on marketing. If they spend 2% like Target, it could wipe out a ton of their profitability. So the question becomes, how do they grow without advertising? And the truth is that word of mouth on steroids, is the root of their marketing strategy. Over 50% of new Costco members join because somebody recommended them, and they turn customers into unpaid marketers by delivering really consistent value that people can't help but evangelize. So if you think about it, when you see a Costco commercial, which is probably never, you instead really hear friends rave about their deals, their return policy, free samples. You even see TikTokers talking about how they return things much later. And that's really authentic marketing that you can't buy because it's a real experience. So when you're working in your small business, you need to create experiences worth talking about. Free samples are great. Free samples are great. Unbeatable return policies, bulk savings that genuinely help families are value delivery systems instead of marketing, which is what makes them so effective. Last but not least, they do have a warehouse aesthetic, and this is really kind of contrarian when you look at traditional branding because competitors really do spend a lot on making the store displays beautiful and fancy fixtures and remodeling, and those things actually go out of date, then they have to redo them. Costco does keep it simple with concrete floors, industrial lighting, products stacked on shipping pallets, and so it may look cheap, but that's kind of the point. Every dollar not spent on beautifying the store goes directly towards lowering prices for customers, and customers don't care about the fancy displays when they're saving 20 to 30% on quality products. And the warehouse feeling actually reinforces their brand ethos that they don't waste money on fluff. So the treasure hunt experience is the third kind of payoff of this. It keeps customers engaged. They don't know what premium items they'll discover when they go in. And it does create an excitement that luxury stores can't match with predictable layouts. So if you have a small business, I really recommend you create exclusive access instead of competing on price, whether it's memberships or VIP programs or premium services, so they can make your customers invested in being a part of your brand. Second, I really do think you should curate ruthlessly. You should be known for an expert selector rather than creating endless options. Your customers will trust your judgment and pay premium prices. Third, you should really invest in your team, well paid, happy employees, become authentic brand ambassadors that marketing just really can't replicate. Fourth, focus on experiences worth sharing instead of just expensive advertising. If you do those in tandem, it's really great. And a genuinely happy customer telling their network is really worth more than any ad you can buy. The retention, the acquisition costs are significantly lower, and the lifetime value is typically a lot higher of a client that comes in that way. Costco proves this authenticity, value, and treating people right isn't just good karma, it's really good business. So go build a brand your customers can't stop talking about. If you want help, go to brandlab2025.com, where I have a book that outlines all this for you.